you two, welcome to your guided reading lesson today. The story we are reading today is What Do You Do If Your House is a Zoo? So before we start reading, you need to make sure you have your home learning books and a pencil or a pen, and you'll need to pause the video when I ask a question and answer them in your books. Okay, so the questions that I'm asking today are all inference questions. So that means that the answer isn't in the text, okay? We need to think about what the text is saying and use knowledge that we already know, things that we already know to help us answer the question. So we need to think a little bit more rather than just finding the answers in the text. Okay, so what do you do if your house is a zoo? On Sunday, Mum and Dad said, "You can have a pet." Hurrah! At last! Why do you think the boy, this is question number 1, why do you think the boy is saying at last? What does that mean? Why is he saying at last? And that's your first question that you need to write in your home learning books. But what pet did I want? I just couldn't decide. So on Monday, I put an advert in the local paper, and then there's lots of adverts there. And on Tuesday, I got some replies. The first one was on very fancy paper. Very fancy paper. The next was short and sweet, but a little damp. And this letter is from a little goldfish. And this is your second question. Why do you think this letter was a bit damp? So damp is when something is a bit wet. Why do we think the letter from the fish was a bit damp? And that's your second question. And the last one had been nibbled by the sender. There was going to be tough. And it was even tougher because on Wednesday, the postman brought more replies. Loads more. And the more I read, the more confused I got. There were so many animals. The choice was making me dizzy. And these are all the replies from all the different animals. He looks very confused. And to make matters worse, on Thursday, the meerkats arrived. They set up a security post and wouldn't let Mum leave. "I'll be late for work," she cried. How do you think Mum is feeling right now? That's your third question, your third inference question. "I'll be late for work," she cried. How do we think Mum is feeling right now? Kingsley, the gorilla, kindly gave her a lift. "That looks like fun," I cried. "Can I go too?" "No way," said Dad. "Why on earth did you invite them?" "I didn't," I started to explain. But before I could finish, the Beaver Brothers appeared and built us a lovely water feature. "This was more like it," I yelled. "Geronimo!" And I was about to dive in when Walter Whale swam up and turned Mr. and Mrs. Jones' barbecue into a pool party. Oh dear. "Right," said Dad as he blow-dried Mr. Jones's wig. "No more animals." That's question number 4. Why do we think Dad has said no more animals? What reason might it be that he said that there are no more animals? But they kept on coming. Our house felt like a zoo. Soon I was surrounded by pets, but not one of them wanted to play with me. In fact, our house was so full we ended up sleeping in the garden. Peace at last, sighed Dad, when whoosh, crunch, tinkle, we were woken by Space Monkey Boo Boo crash landing on the potting shed. That's it, cried Mum. They've all got to go. I was sad to see the animals leave, but I don't think any of them was the pet for me. And that's your 5th question. Question number 5. Why do we think that none of the pets were for the boy? Why weren't they suitable for the boy? What was it about all of those animals? Then on Monday, I found a letter I had missed. It was whiffy, drooly and covered in stray hairs, but I opened it anyway. And suddenly I realised that the pet for me isn't one that I want. It's the one that wants me. And that's your last question. And your last question is, how do you think the boy is feeling now? So throughout the book, he's felt quite confused, maybe a bit stressed with all the animals. How do you think now he's feeling now he's found this special pet? And that's it. Those are your 6 questions. So remember, you might need to watch the video more than once. Pause the video to answer the questions in your home learning books. Okay, good luck, Year 2.